All right, look here, and this is what I'm going to show you how to learn any language from scratch. If you don't know me, my name is Luke. I speak 7 languages. I'm currently learning my 8th one. And the thing is, there is no secret, but there is kind of a secret. It's like, it's weird to frame it like this, but it's true. You can't learn languages. You can't learn. Languages are acquired. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can acquire any language, all right? It's the step-by-step system, so to speak, right? The first step is before starting to speak, to listen, to do all that bullshit stuff, you need to sit down and be like, all right, what language do I want to learn? Why? Like, is it because you want to learn Spanish just because it's fancy, or because you have a goal, right? You need to find, right? You know, it's like if you have a job, it's because it helps you to make money. Otherwise, you wouldn't get a job if it doesn't help you to pay your bills, right? That's why most people have a job, right? So why do you want to learn this language? You sit down and you're like, all right, I want to learn this language because of this, because of this, because of this, because of this. This is why I'd be able to achieve, and so on and so forth. First thing, all right? Now, second step. Don't practice. You're going to learn. You're going to learn. You're going to listen. You're going to listen to what I call comprehensible input. Stephen Krashen has talked about this theory in 1982. He published like a lot of books about it. Comprehensible input is basically really simple. If I speak if I speak French and I say je bois du café, you maybe understand nothing if you don't speak French. But if I say je bois du café et de l'eau, you understood what I said. You understood. I was drinking coffee, then water, and I didn't like the coffee. Why? Because of context and emotion. The problem is that people chase words, they chase rules, but this is not how you learn. How did you learn your native language? How? Tell me. You didn't learn your native language. You acquired it in a natural way. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Your parents were not English teachers, if it's your native language. Your parents didn't install any app when you were 2 years old to learn languages. No, they just talked to you. You were immersed, like you were literally like listening to a lot of nonsense the first 3 years of your life. They were talking to you, they were talking to you. And at some points, you were able to speak, and grammar came later. This is crazy when you think about it, but it's true. We all learn like this. And nobody on earth doesn't speak one language. So it worked on like 8 billion people. It worked on everybody. And we're not learning. This is crazy. All right? So this is the second step. So what do you have to do, like in a more concrete way, is that you have to listen. So for example, what I did for my school is that you have to listen to a lot of stories based on comprehensible input. All right. So, for example, I'm drinking coffee, I'm drinking water. So you're gonna have a list. Like what I did is I created a lot of stories with all those words that we commonly use, verbs, those small. I don't know how to call this in English, by the way. You see, it's crazy. I don't even know the word. Like the adjectives and so on and so forth. There's usually 1,000, 1,500 words that you need in order to communicate. So put them in stories, and you have a list of like 100, 200 stories that you can listen to, and you absorb the language, right? And then you take notes. You take notes, and this is how you learn. After this, first step, remember, you know why you want to do it. Second step, comprehensible input. So you listen to story, you acquire the language. And the third step is you start to speak. It's as simple as this. There's a lot of course, there's a lot of like in-between steps, but if I really want to make it simple for you and shorten the process, the big picture of the process, let's say, is this. And then you speak. You speak, and very important to not get feedback on the go. I tell this story all the time, but I remember when I was a football coach, I remember I used to share in training, I used to share 50% of the field. So, I was training here and he was training on the other way and I could see what he did. And I remember he used to do like, exercises. And at some point at the end, we all, like almost every team used to play, like just a game, right? So two teams and so on and so forth. So they used to play for like 30 minutes, like a game basically. And I remember he was whistling all the time, like, guys, it's not like this. Stop. It's like this. And he used to show them like, hey, this is how we pass. John, it's not like this. I don't have a name. Sebastian, it's not like this. It's like this, blah, blah, blah. And the kids would stop. They're like, like this. They would listen. And then they will jump back. And they will overthink. And lose the complete momentum of not the conversation, of the training. So the first problem is that when this football coach started to correct them, they would overthink. When they kept going, they lost the momentum, right? This is the first problem. They lost the momentum. They had to start over again, like the machine had to, right? And they were not in the flow, because when you're in the like, and then you stop, you keep going, you stop, you keep going. Try this when you run. If you run very fast, you stop, you keep going. It's very weird for your heart, for your body. Sometimes it might be good, but you get the idea. And the second problem is the volume. The volume. Look, out of those 30 minutes of play, they maybe just played 17 to 18 minutes, because most of the time he was giving feedback. Whereas on my side, I was letting them play, not giving them any feedback, so to speak. So they played 30 minutes and the feedback came later. And this is how they played more naturally. They didn't overthink. Of course, they might not execute the right things, but at the end, you give the feedback at the end. One feedback, two things. Hey guys, this is what you need to work on. That's it. Very simple. But if you give like this information, this, you're lost and you don't know what to do. And people think that feedback is good, but the most important is not the feedback, is what you do with the feedback. I can tell you, man, you're ugly. Why do you have those shoes? You should do this. And by the way, I don't like when you do this. I don't like when you do this. Okay, so what are you going to apply? Nothing. So back to the language, when you speak, you need to find someone. You speak about something you like, and usually you start after, once you're ready, when you listen to a lot of things. You speak about, like, let's say you love, let's take football as an example. You speak about football. Your teacher or your coach shouldn't correct you, but they correct you at the end. So they let you speak nonsense. It doesn't matter. Nonsense for 30 minutes. And then they give you feedback at the end of like, okay, this is what you did wrong, but this is what you should focus on. Now you're just going to focus on this. So next time we improve. And improvements by improvements, this is how you make progress. This is the easiest and the smartest way to learn languages. First, all right, this is what I need. This is why I want to do it. So sit down and be like, all right, what language do I want to learn? Then comprehensible input, and then speak without getting feedback, get the feedback at the end. So you're in the flow and you have a lot of volume and you don't lose the momentum and you don't overthink. Because back to the football thing, once you're in the game, in the real world, for conversations as well, you might overthink. The kid might overthink when he plays, and you might overthink when you have a conversation in front of someone. So this is not what you want. You want to be spontaneous, even though you make a lot of mistakes. What is most important? Being spontaneous and making mistakes, or being not spontaneous and making everything perfect? I'd rather choose the spontaneous way and making tons of mistakes like I'm doing with my English, right? I don't freaking care, all right? And you should neither. So this is what to do. And yes, maybe there's going to be a link in the description. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know yet. Maybe there's going to be a link if you want to know more about it. Check it out. There might be something available. Maybe not. I don't know, because I'm shooting this video and I don't know. I don't even know when I'm going to publish this video. I just love content. I love making content for you guys. So yeah, let's look. Check it out. Check in the description if there's something available. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.